flag, top of Paddock Hill.
Recovery 1 on 6.
That's a bit of a mess. Alright. Does it roll at all? No. Got no clutch or anything, no?
It's not just the riders and the teams that make the Bennetts British Superbike such a success. The on-track glory for these superstars wouldn't even be possible without the efforts and dedication of an army of orange-clad heroes that work tirelessly to make other people's dreams come true. And this is their story.
Hi, I'm Maliphant and I'm here to take you through a typical day as a BSB marshal. I work on the recovery team. We are based in the vans and we run the taxi bikes as well. Covering today Recovery 1, we're covering all of Paddock Hill, we're covering up round Druids, down through Graham Hill and along Cooper Straight. We've then got another 2 vans based at the Med Centre and one out the back of the circuit here at Brands. So I've been marshalling now for 5 years. I started back when a colleague of mine noticed that I was a mad biker and she was a race safe marshal herself. And 5 years on, I've managed to cover a whole range of roles. I'm the first female marshal to have ever been on a taxi bike, so I'm quite proud of that. And I've also done one day as an IO, which is an incident officer, and they're the head of a post, so they're the ones that do all the radio communications with race control. So there's a real big variety to what the Orange Army do. So as a race safe marshal, we start early, we finish late. You don't get a huge amount of breaks, but I love it. So on recovery this morning, we started at 7:30. We had to go out around the whole circuit dropping off the kit that the marshals need. So this includes things like scoops to get the riders up if they were to have an off and they can't walk off. We drop off flags, we drop off the boards, so we drop those off around the circuit. We've also got our lifting bars, so if there's a bike that's really badly damaged and the marshals are struggling to get it through the gravel or up the banking, they can use the lifting bar through the wheel. It just makes life an awful lot easier to clear bikes quickly and efficiently. Once we've done that, we then come back into pit lane. We have a briefing with Stuart Higgs, race director, which is for the IOs for around the circuit, which gives them all key information that they need for the day ahead. There's one of those every morning, and then from there we go and we help drop marshals at certain points throughout the track if it's a long track, and then we'll make sure we're in position ready for the green flag at the start of the day. I love marshalling because I love to be involved in the sport. I love to feel like I'm doing something to help. I raced bikes back when I was 21 years old and unfortunately ran out of funds, so I couldn't do it. So for me, this is the next best thing. You know, I'm able to get involved, help the riders with their dreams and their ambitions, and I find it really rewarding as well. The biggest perk of the job has to be, you know, access all areas. As a marshal, you know, we get to go into the pit lane, we get to wander around the paddock. You actually build a really nice rapport with the teams and the riders. You know, we might be helping them out in the toughest times of their racing career as recovery, but we help them to see the fun side of it, as it were. It can be a very dangerous role. Obviously we are out in the firing line as a marshal. We have to rely really heavily on our flag marshals for them to keep us safe. You know, if they're flagging well, the riders are going to see that there's an incident ahead. We also work so that if you've got a couple of marshals pushing a bike, you'll have another marshal who is called the spotter, and they're always looking towards the oncoming traffic. They're able to blow a whistle, and we literally know if the whistle goes, you just drop and run. So it can be very dangerous, but we are also very, very careful with what we do. And yeah, we all look after each other. So the split with male and female marshals, there is a lot more men doing it than women. We do have some women here, which is great, and we all get stuck in, we all get involved, you know, we're not shy. Being the only female on the recovery team just goes to show, you know, we're having to load bikes in the vans, unload the bikes. So it is very full on, and you do need to have a bit of stamina about you, but yeah, there's no sort of discrimination or anything. It's brilliant. So on a 14:25, red flag, top of Paddock Hill.
Recovery 1 on 6.
in him. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Go on, carry on.
Right, stop all if you can. Oh!
Yeah, right, pop it down there.
Yeah, thanks.
And he's all going in backwards.
Yeah.
Right, I've got these bits. So that was stock 600.
Yeah, stock 6.
Rider number 4. Reason was a crash, and it was from Bravo. So the role as a marshal is all voluntary. We do get perks, we get breakfast vouchers, so we haven't got to pay for food whilst we're here. We get free camping, obviously free entry into the circuit, but normally we each get a guest pass as well, so we can bring someone along to each day of the races that we're marshalling. So yes, the perks are here. For me, it's more about the love of the sport and being involved, and that for me is worth more than any payment. So it's almost lunchtime now. It's been a pretty quiet day here at Brands Hatch. We've had a couple of mechanical retirements, but they've come off just here, so we've not needed to use the van. And we've had a sidecar spin out, the passenger come off. Luckily both are okay. But yeah, it's all in all been very quiet. So may get a bit more action this afternoon. We'll see how we get on. It's good in a way, because obviously it means people aren't crashing, they're not getting hurt, so it's perfect. But it's also, you know, makes it a longer day for us, because we're sat sort of on edge waiting to see if we're needed. But it's the way it works. Sometimes we're run off our feet, and sometimes we have days where it's a little bit on the quieter side. So we'll see what happens this afternoon, but as it stands, all good. Right, so I'll give you a quick tour of the van. So when we have to do a pickup, the first thing we do is the ramp comes out. We can fit up to 6 of the small bikes in here and 5 big bikes. So if we come into the van, the bikes come up, one goes in, the strap comes out, the strap goes round the rear wheel, under the foot peg, under the handlebar, and then we pull it and ratchet it in, and that holds the bike nice and secure. We can put one each side, put one in the middle, and if we have any more at the back, we sit on the bike or hold it. We carry a spare scoop, so if they need one on corner, if a rider's been scooped away, then we can drop the spare one. We also keep spare brushes on board as well. Again, if there's been a lot of gravel, we can help to clear up at the scene, just to get things moving a bit quicker. We've got our fire extinguisher. You know, with crash bikes in the van, sometimes they are leaking fuel. We do need to be really cautious and ready for everything, so we keep that here as well. Also up here we keep some Zulu juice. We use this for spillages such as oil, fuel on the tarmac. Just a quick spray on and it just dissolves it down. We've also got our cement dust. Again, more for oil, this one. Just a quick sprinkle and then we just give it a brush. And that's the van. Worst bits about being a marshal would probably be the early starts, because I'm not a morning person really. It can be long days, it can be cold, it can be wet. You know, it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. The marshals, we're always out on post from the minute we need, you know, from the start of the day all the way through to the end of the day. So, you know, blistering hot sunshine, you need to make sure you get your sun cream, lots of water, freezing cold. You know, we have had it where we've had snow here in the past. We're still out there with all our layers on. So the worst bits are probably the weather and the long days. It can be a very long day, and if we have lots of red flags, you'll lose your lunch break completely. So yeah, that's the worst bits. My favourite moment as a marshal, so with Race Safe Marshal, we marshal British Superbikes. We also marshal World Superbikes when it's in the UK and the MotoGP. My highlight ever as a marshal has to be at MotoGP at Silverstone, when I got to go out and hold Johan Zarco's Moto2 bike after he won, so he could do a slipping Frenchman at Luffield. And then whilst he was there, Sam Lowe's pulled up and we got to hold his bike for him whilst he ran through and threw his boots into the crowd, and then he gave me a nice high five as he came back to his bike. So for me, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, you can go from there and then you can run down pit lane, you can be under the podium when they're spraying the champagne. You just can't buy that sort of experience, so definite highlight. So we've made it it's the end of Friday. It's been a relatively quiet day as far as the recovery team go. There've been a few big crashes out the back of the circuit which the other vans have had to deal with. In here we've had a few that we've had to pick up. There was a big one at the top of Paddock Hill, and then we've had a couple, one at Druids and down the bottom at Graham Hill as well. One mechanical retirement, a couple of crashes. So yeah, for a Friday it's been nice and quiet. We've still got another 2 days to go, so I'm sure that's going to increase quite dramatically once they start pushing for qualifying and for racing as well on Sunday. So all in all, it's been a good day. We've had dry weather, which has been a bit of a blessing, although it's been a bit on the cooler side. But yeah, I hope this has been a good insight as to what it's like to be a marshal, and hopefully I'll see you out on post sometime soon. Thank you very much.